It takes a certain talent and loads of grit to run long distance races and place. On top of that, consider a college runner who cannot see the road ahead.
His name is Alex France, and he is busting barriers and outrunning obstacles. Julie Cornell has his story.
It's therapeutic for me. I started to enjoy running because you're just out there in the wind. You know, it's the ultimate battle of your mind over your body.
And his mind pushes his body. Speed and endurance are gifts Alex France is blessed with.
Typically right now, 50 to 60 miles a week, depending on whether it's a race week or not.
The 22-year-old graduates this week from Midland University, where he's one of the most accomplished runners in the program's history.
It's just relaxing.
And satisfying.
Let's go, Alex! Kick it down, buddy!
Alex is an All-American with the second fastest marathon time in Midland history, placing 8th in the NAIA Conference Championship.
Come on, buddy, you're doing fantastic!
6 months ago, Alex broke the school record in the half marathon.
He's so kind and confident, and I think that he's definitely an inspiration to others.
Philip Duncan is one of his coaches.
As someone realistically who might have the opportunity to make a lot of excuses, he absolutely doesn't.
Alex can't see.
My freshman year of high school, I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, which is a degenerative eye disease.
With a small field of grainy, blurry tunnel vision, Alex runs tethered to a guide runner with a 2-foot cord.
When I first started, trying to find a guide runner was pretty difficult because there was one in particular where we were running and I kind of beat him back to the school, and he showed up, he was like, dude, I almost threw up like coming up the hill, and I was like, okay, this might not work out.
For years now, Philip and other fast friends see the course for him.
Just looking for bumps, dips in the road, potholes, moving left or right.
Philip says it's Alex who teaches him.
You don't stop, you don't make excuses, you don't think about what just happened, you just think about moving forward. But I think that's actually a great way to kind of describe Alex in the situation. Is he's just not looking back, he's just moving forward.
Looking forward to the Paralympics in Paris in 2 years. Looking forward to working as a counselor. Sometimes
in life things happen, and I wasn't going to let it, change my life. Instead of asking why me, you can ask why not me? Like, why not? Like, I was given this disability, but I'm able to use that to inspire people.
Alex wants people to know, in this race we call life, his ultimate guide is his faith.
God's grace is sufficient, for you, and that his power is made perfect in weakness. And it's just an amazing verse. When I am weak, then I can be strong, because in my weakness, God does amazing things.
In Fremont, Julie Cornell, KETV Newswatch 7.